Let me say, this trailer was quite fantastic.
Wait, say that again?
Guys, it officially happened. We got our first teaser for Fantastic Four First Steps, and I could not be happier. I cannot believe this movie is real. I cannot believe that we actually got footage. I cannot, and it's perfect. And it's perfect. Let me insert a little clip of my reaction here. Also, I've been up since 3:45 because the marketing said 4 a.m. So naturally, I woke up 15 minutes before. But what I failed to realize is that there was a countdown for the countdown. So when it hit 4 a.m., they were like, actually, guys, there's 1 more hour. And so I had to sit through like a whole hour, which did allow me to like mentally prepare myself for the trailer, you know? But then when it dropped, let me tell you, girl, let me tell you. Also, guys, I realized that I kind of just jumped into it, but let me backtrack a little bit. Hey, guys, it's Linz. Welcome to Linds Soapbox. Today, obviously, we're talking about the Fantastic Four First Steps trailer. And I cannot believe I'm saying that out loud. Like, I cannot. Guys, I'm so happy. Let me tell you, I grew up with the old Fantastic Four movies. Those movies are super special to me. They feel very nostalgic. The Fantastic Four just in general feel very nostalgic to me. As I've mentioned before, Silver Surfer is my favorite character. Silver Surfer is connected to Galactus, who's connected to the Fantastic Four, who is in this movie, who's in this trailer. And ever since I was a little girl, like my biggest dream was for the Fantastic Four to be brought back home into the MCU and be able to, you know, be integrated with these other characters that I loved so much from the MCU. Like, here we are, like years later, I'm like a whole grown adult now, and I cannot believe that this movie is real, and it's only a few months until we officially see them on the big screen. Like, oh my gosh. Like, let me show you guys. I have my DVDs. First of all, this one still has the Blockbuster sticker, which I think is so insane. And then Rise of the Silver Surfer, like, I vividly remember finding this DVD at my local Dollar Tree, and I remember being so excited, and like, I don't know, it's just so crazy. Anyway, now let's actually get into the discussion of the trailer, because there's so much to talk about. First of all, let's talk about the aesthetic of the film, because it is literally perfect. Having this 1960s retro-futuristic vibe, exactly what the Fantastic Four is. Like, it just brings you back to like those original Fantastic Four comics by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. It really is their era, and it speaks to the character so well. And Matt Shakman being the one to direct this film makes so much sense. He's the one who also directed WandaVision, which is also a time period piece. And after watching the trailer, you can see the similarities between WandaVision and Fantastic Four. The sets look amazing, and the world really looks lived in, and I love the vibe that it gives you. Like, it reminds you so much, if you've been to Disneyland, like, it reminds you so much of Tomorrowland, that retro-futuristic vibe. And the opening scene of this trailer was so interesting because obviously we have Susan and Reed giving a tour to the reporter, right? And the answers that they're giving like feels so scripted, but it really like, it reminds you of the fact that like the Fantastic Four, a big part about them is that, you know, they're celebrities. Like, people love them. They're very much in the public eye, and so it's so interesting to see how they're interacting with the press. And then the next clip, I lost it because not only did we see the Baxter building, but we saw Herbie and bengrimm, the Thing, in his full look. I cannot say this enough, but the way that bengrimm, the Thing, is designed in this film is absolutely perfect. It is so spot on and so obviously inspired by Jack Kirby's original bengrimm Thing design. I cannot believe that after years, we finally got a Thing design that like looks this incredible. I love Thing so much. He's my favorite Fantastic Four member, and I am beyond happy. And speaking of Thing, I really appreciate how much he was in this trailer. Like, I feel like it really focused on him. And the kitchen scene with Thing and Herbie I thought was such a great choice to include because it really humanizes both the characters. I think that's really important for people who are not familiar with these characters because it gives you an insight on these members that are part of this family, and it really makes you fall in love with them, which is gonna set up the more emotional moments in this film. For example, bengrimm and the personal struggle that he has. It's really gonna allow those moments to hit a lot harder. And just based off that scene alone, like, you can tell this film characterized bengrimm exactly how you would have imagined. Also, all of their powers look awesome. Well, they showed all of them except Reed Richards, which is an interesting choice. Susan Storm's force fields and the way that Johnny Storm turns into fire. And of course, we already talked about bengrimm and how awesome he looks. But again, it's really interesting that we didn't see Reed Richards' powers, which, to be fair, we've already seen his powers in the MCU because of John Krasinski's Mr. Fantastic and Multiverse of Madness. Maybe they're saving that for another trailer, maybe they just weren't ready yet. And another clip that really got me was bengrimm in his trench coat, the iconic trench coat. And we have seen a version of that already in the 2000s movies. However, it never gets old. It's a moment, which, yes, it is very iconic. However, he usually wears that trench coat when he's having a hard time and when we're gonna get some like emotional scenes, you know? Yes, it is sad, but I am very excited to see how this film represents that struggle of bengrimm because it is so important to his character. Also, I think the love story between Susan Storm and Reed Richards, like, they're really gonna knock knock it out of the park with this one. I'm excited for a good little romance, and I feel like obviously we've had that in the MCU before, but this one feels different. It's a different type of love, and it's gonna feel so special, I really feel. Oh my gosh, and there's a shot of them kissing, like, guys, can't hate a little romance. And also that's a really important part of the comics as well, you know? And the shot where Thing is running on the street, like, I don't know how to explain this, but the way that he's running, it feels so accurate. So the shot where Johnny Storm is like in the stratosphere, like he's like falling back down, I think that is like cinematography. And the costumes, let me tell you, I'm in love with the costumes. They look so nice. I feel like by the end of it we'll have different costumes, maybe. Is that a good prediction? I think so, right? Also, I did want to talk about the dialogue that we hear throughout the trailer, specifically where Reed Richards and Susan Storm are speaking. So perfect, because we have Reed Richards saying, you know, before we went to space, before you could turn invisible, before Johnny Storm could turn into fire, and before bengrimm, you know, was a rock. And then you have Susan who responds in such a reassuring way, and she's like, you know, bengrimm has always been a rock. Johnny is still Johnny, and I'm right here. And I thought that was such a beautiful line. I think that really highlights the fact that Susan Storm is essentially a driving force and the reason why they're able to stick together not only as a family but also as a team, and I'm really excited to see that further explored when we actually get the entire film. However, I really do think this movie is going to allow Susan Storm to play a bigger role than the previous films have allowed her to. And now let's talk about what I've been dying to talk about ever since I started this video, okay? We saw the first look at Galactus. That is... what? I cannot believe that this is real. I have literally dreamed of this day for years, and oh my gosh. First of all, we get the shot of his shadow, which just by seeing the shadow, you can immediately tell who it is. Like, there is no denying who that is. There's no hesitation. And then we get the back shot of Galactus, full helmet and everything, purple. Like, that purple is undeniable. That is Galactus. Galactus in the flesh. I cannot process the fact that we are going to see a live action Galactus. Like, that is, pinch me, please. I literally have dreamed of this day ever since I was little. Like, this is crazy. This is insane. And I didn't want to be that annoying person to bring it up. However, I did just recently reread the first appearance of Galactus and Silver Surfer, and in that comic there's a panel that says that if you see Silver Surfer, that means that Galactus is not far behind. And so in this case, we saw Galactus, so that means that there's only one reason, there's only one way that Galactus was able to get to planet Earth, and that is Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer. I mean, we already knew that Silver Surfer was going to appear in this film, but if you really think about it, you get really excited. Oh my gosh. I am so excited, okay? I'm so excited. I'm sorry. I had to bring it up. All right, guys. Well, that is all I have to say. I really do hope that you guys enjoyed the trailer as much as I did. And I now will probably lose sleep until I actually get to watch this movie because... what? Guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, share, do all of the above. And if you want to follow me on my other socials, it's at lindssoapbox. All right, guys. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Reed Richards is saying, you know, before we went up in space, before you could turn invincible, oh my god. Invincible.